Hello, everyone, and welcome to second Kaunas AI Meetup. This time, Kaunas AI Meetup is being hosted by Centric IT Solutions. A round of applause. Yeah. Thank you. And my name is Paulius. I am, surprise, also from Centric IT Solutions. I work as business intelligence analyst, and I will try my best to be your host this evening. And not like AI technology, for today we have prepared a really simple agenda, a really simple plan. We will have 3 speakers. We will give their speeches about artificial intelligence, and we will have a short break. And after that break, when we will return, we will have a discussion between 3 heavyweight AI experts. And I don't want to waste any more time, and I would like to invite on this stage the godfather of Kaunas AI Meetups, Tomas Rasimas, to give his opening word.
Yeah, hello. I really love strong openings. Okay, so what a huge audience. Happy to see so much AI enthusiasts here. So, yeah, and for those who do not know me, as Paulius said, I'm the godfather of Kaunas AI Meetups and the very first member of this community. I'm very happy. And a few months ago, we had the first Kaunas AI meetup hosted across the street at Hostinger headquarters. And I would like to share a few moments for those who missed it to get a little bit jealous. So we had Andrew's talk about autonomous AI, Laimonas about AI bubble. You can see people in the audience are smiling. It means they are having fun, you know. Gediminas talked about ethical AI. It was very insightful. So yeah, do not miss those events because they are very insightful and you can meet lots of interesting people. So as you some of you might know that we have a Facebook group called Kaunas AI, and I'm pretty sure that many of you has not joined it yet. So I really encourage you to do so, because this is the main channel for communication for this Kaunas AI community. So to make everything easier for you, I have prepared the QR code. So you can scan it and everything will just happen. You need to click join, I guess. Yeah, so one last thing from me. So we are planning to have another meetup just before the summer. So it will be not like this one, like without presentations. It will be just a networking part, of course, with snacks and music, and networking to share ideas, you know, think on the project that we are working on and share best practices. So please join the group I mentioned before, because all the information will be shared there. So this is all from me. So enjoy the meetup, and if you have any topics that you would like to talk about the meetups, organization, participating in the meeting, or maybe helping to organize them, so please approach me during the networking part, and I would love to talk with you. And now, without further ado, I want to give Microphone to Paulo.
Thank you, Thomas. Next time I will try to work a bit more on my entrance, maybe with some belts like boxers, you know. Okay, so next let's jump to first speaker. And on this stage, I would like to invite the colleague from Centric IT Solutions, data scientist Gediminas Sadaunykas, who will give a presentation about Netflix and chill. Sorry, Chatbots and chill.
Right. Hello, everyone. So I am data scientist here at Centric. And basically, I've decided to become a data scientist at around 2016. That was around the time when the article came out that data science is the sexiest job of 21st century. And to be honest, I never looked back. Though at the time there was a lot of hype around data science and machine learning, the same way kind of we see a lot of hype around AI. But the AI is just a lot just masked data science, and data science is a lot just masked statistics. But statistics can be quite powerful to the point that we're actually having conversations such as this. Will AI be your next coworker, basically, or your replacement? How many are you worried that AI will take over your job? Can you raise hands? Quite a few, but probably a lot of us lying, probably. So, okay, a quick background. So basically, since 2022, a lot of people were asking me, really, will AI replace my colleagues, relatives, friends? Most recently, actually, I was in the public sauna and just a random person who had tent business asked, will AI replace me and how much time do I have? I mean, I said, got at least like 10 years, don't worry about it. But it kind of became apparent to me that I need to find a more educated answer to this question. Yeah, so I went looking, I went basically to the media, tried to see what stances are media taking. So here basically we see people are worried that AI will take everyone's jobs. So this one actually saying that end of the work meme is just a distraction, and basically until we find a way to use AI. Here, will AI replace your job? This particular article is saying that we already have systems, GPT-4 systems, which basically 50% of the tasks of the 20% of the people already can be replaced. And famous AI won't replace humans, but humans with AI will replace humans without it. So probably a lot of us hear this one. Okay, so when I went on really, okay, so this looks pretty serious. I really want to see which professions are kind of more replaceable than others. So I did a little survey of myself, and then of course talked with GPT a little bit. And right, CEOs. I don't know how many CEOs are here, but you're probably safe. Priests, police officers, teachers, politicians. Most replaceable being kind of customer service. I know that Kostengir is doing a lot on that. Maybe Mantas will tell more. Digital marketing, assembly line workers, accountants. And yes, scary, but also coders. And how these translate to properties. So least replaceable being kind of high emotional intelligence, high mobility, and very important accountability, which we'll get back to. Most replaceable being, I mean, the work is repetitive, can be done in the digital environment, or where you can really define rules for the job. Right, so probably the next question is really how much time do I have, right? So when I actually came across this pretty fascinating paper, which was released at the beginning of the year, where basically a lot of AI researchers are being asked the same question, really when AI will replace humans. So these are people who are publishing regularly to the mainstream journals, and basically their prediction is that we will have like 50% chance by 2047 basically have all the human tasks being replaceable by machine intelligence. But yeah, so there's an asterisk. Being replaceable not equals being replaced. That's probably a lot of us know that it's much easier to get the model kind of working in the notebook or on your laptop than to have actually a product out of it. Yeah, so what's more fascinating, that basically, so blue line is from 2022, red is from 2023. So in 1 year, we basically moved 13 years. So this is basically people just were false by changed their prediction by 13 years in 1 year. So it just shows that the time is kind of shrinking from both ways, basically, in the minds of people. Right, so why does it take so long to really adopt the technology? There is the famous, so basically, yeah, there is a lot of infrastructure complexities that you need to get it right, really, to make use of technology. And there is a famous Gartner curve, which basically tells that technology gets adopted really in stages. And also, there are a lot of different AI services, and they are at the different stages as well. So first, we usually have the innovation trigger. So like multi-agent systems are at this stage. This is when the systems just, papers getting published, labs work getting published, kind of small startups getting created probably, but this is very early. When we have inflated expectations, so when everyone is talking about the technology and basically everyone is thinking that it's going to do everything, so Gen AI can probably fall into this one, even though it's extremely useful. When we have the stage of disillusionment, so when there is really the limitations, the regulations, the problems really set in for the wide adoption, kind of the autonomous vehicles can fall into this stage. Yeah, when the stage of enlightenment, so that's where technology kind of starts becoming really mature and useful. So cloud AI services can falls into this stage, and we definitely feel it at Centric. And when the plateau of productivity, so technology is mature, so the OCR can, a lot of OCR services falls into this as other computer vision things. Okay, so what's possible when all the really AI services kind of go over this hump and into this plateau of productivity stage? I really like this quote from Sam Altman. He basically not long time ago said that one day AI will allow to have like $1 billion company, which obviously Sam is the CEO of AI company, so he's a little exaggerating things, though I think it has a lot of vision in this statement as well, because we already have like Midjourney, which had like 12 employees with 250 million in revenue, which is about 10 billion in valuation. So it's possible. Okay, so how it's possible? How it can be possible? Yeah. So my quick prediction would be agents. So this is one of my favorite papers from last year, ChatDev, which basically. So here we see a visualization basically of virtual software development company, different avatars basically representing different agents, so obviously responsible for the different tasks of the software development. So they're developing software in this waterfall process, and with some designating the tasks and also supervising the output. What's also interesting that CEOs and CTOs were initializing the product idea, but also at the very end closing the loop and writing the documentation for it. So yeah, the software this system produced was actually quite simple, probably not very useful, but I think it validated a pretty powerful concept. Okay, so why agents are so powerful? So we can go back a little bit further. This is basically Garry Kasparov basically losing against Deep Blue. So Deep Blue was a search-based model Though models that came after, which basically were reinforcement-based models, kind of proved superior, and they proved superior because they can create synthetic data via action response with an environment. Large language model agents also can create synthetic data by describing environment and output in the natural language. Also, collaborative process. So large language models have this, because they have quite simple objectives, so they have like limitations such as hallucinations and not being able to count its own words, but really just having same instances of the model, even with the same parameters. Actually, when you bring them together, the system can improve significantly. Right, so let's dream a little. Yeah, so probably a lot of us seen Sora. So this is, it took the world by storm at the beginning of this year, which basically saw a video generation service which was so incredibly what we've seen before. But also about the same time, we had Genie, which is basically a model which can create simple 2D games, interactive 2D games from static images. And so it wasn't too difficult to kind of combine these things together and really think of the cases where we will be able to just create computer games really from your home, and which would be indistinguishable from reality. But what's more important, that we'll be able to create not only games, but really simulated worlds. And simulated worlds can create simulated data. Simulated data can create specialized small agents. And where we are with that, actually, the answer is actually we are much closer this week when we've been 2 weeks ago. This is actually from a couple of weeks ago. What we will see is just a simple robot doing quite an interesting real-world task. But basically, what's special about it is it was 100% trained in simulation, so in the virtual world, by AI model, so by GPT-4, which was designing reward function for it. So it was trained in simulation by different AI. So okay, let's see. Right, so obviously balancing on the yoga ball is not the most impactful activity that you can think of, but nonetheless, I think it really shows really what can be possible in the future when this field really transfers from sim to the reality emerges, and NVIDIA is leading the way. Okay, so to sum up, yeah, we've seen how cool can AI be, really, and how to be really less replaceable in the AI world. I mean, you can think of, there's probably a lot of different strategies, but you can think of strategies as probably archetypes of the people, of the workers. So one way is really, I think that being creative generalist can be valuable. So basically when you have the AI, we have like multi streams of knowledge coming at you, and really being able to make multidisciplinary decisions probably will be valuable. When really niche domain expert, really expertise matters, and really the surgical knowledge gets a little bit diluted in the big models. Also, unique craftsperson, so human touch matters, human relationship matters, personal brand value matters, so things created by people will always matter, I think. Right, so to sum up, right, AI is not going anywhere. So, but calculators did not kill math, and really Deep Blue did not kill competitive chess, which is bigger than ever. I think that people are likely to find ways to do human things and get compensated for it. though AI will most likely slowly take over some of your tasks, but I think it will give you plenty of opportunities to reinvent yourself and function within any organization. So yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Gediminas. If you have any questions to him, please raise a hand, and I will bring a microphone to you. Yeah, this is our junior data scientist, so yeah.
Hey. One of the first slides that you mentioned, that the priests can't be replaced by AI, right? Have you ever tried speaking to Cloud?
You mean the Cloud 2 or 3? Yeah, this is
Cloud 3.
The model.
Like it's amazing. It can preach.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll show you, man. Like afterwards, I'll show you.
I mean, I kind of saw it. It can look like pretty sentient. Sound like it. Okay, I'll get you.
Okay, do we have any more questions? Yeah, in the back. As you can see, our AI works effectively.
I wanted to ask you, is it easier to replace a teacher with AI or a plumber with AI?
Teacher with AI and plumber with AI. I mean, this is an interesting question because I think they're difficult to be replaced for different reasons. Like the plumber is for the mobility reason and the teacher is for accountability reason. So, I mean, it's there, I don't know.
And one last question, yeah.
Hi. What do you think about universal basic income when it comes to adoption of AI?
Right, so yeah, universal basic income is one popular idea when in the AI world. I think what probably would be even more better and would give like more better incentives is kind of universal basic AI compute, which I think was actually Sam's idea, where people just would have access to the best models and be able to create things with it.
Okay, thank you, Gediminas. This is a small gift from Centric to remember Centric. Okay, let's move next. And now on the stage, we will hear Jurgita Kapočiūtė-Dzikienė, senior researcher from Tilde and as well professor at Vytautas Magnus University, and she will explore her latest research on multilingual and cross-lingual chatbots.
Okay, thank you. So thank you very much for inviting me here to speak about company's Tilde research. But before I go speak about that, I just want to briefly introduce myself. So I'm working in language technologies from 2003 and up till now, with a small gap, I would say, from 2005 to 2010, when I was doing my PhD in agent technologies. And as today you heard that agents are getting more and more popular. So they say they will be in GPT-5 and definitely in GPT-6. So one will think of the ideas, another will probably write the text, and the third agent probably will perform as the critic. So it's very, very realistic if we think about them as humans usually perform tasks. So the topics, if thinking about language technologies, were always the same, more or less, but just the methods changed. I remember when support vector machines were the best technique that the humanity was able to apply in machine learning. And then we transferred to traditional deep learning approaches like convolutional neural networks, and right now to transformer models, and we have a bunch of these models. But through all these years working in language technologies, my hobby was the Lithuanian language. And if we would glance into the Hugging Face page, you would see that we don't have the problem. There are more than 500 different models, but the majority of them are the small models. Well, I will say almost all of them. And they are also multilingual models, which means that Lithuanian language is among many other languages. And it very much depends how well is it supported there. And of course, these models are kind of very specific, like encoder models for classification problems. For some of them are for summarization problems. So they are specific for the specific problems. And if we look into this from the global perspective, there are a bunch of models, and you know, every day the new model, maybe not every day, it's kind of just I expressed myself in this way, but they are appearing constantly. There are 3 popular models that you probably heard about. So Llama 3, for example. Of course, as the researcher, I cannot say, because I have not performed very deep research yet with this model, but from my experiments with the retrieval augmented generation tasks, I can say that Llama 3 partially supports Lithuanian. So it works quite good for retrieving texts, but not so well for generation. So sometimes the text is not in Lithuanian, sometimes it is not very fluent. And it seems that the only option that is left for us is GPT-4, the best that we have, and of course other OpenAI models. But again, there are problems with them, because if you want to fine-tune them, you have to pay. If you want to use the fine-tuned model, again, you have to pay. Again, if you want to fine-tune a model, you have to wait in the queue to get the slot to fine-tune it. Plus everything, the data and the model is on the OpenAI server. So if you think about the company who wants to hang its technology on everything that belongs to OpenAI. Okay, so what it takes to create the chatbot? Because Tilde is creating chatbots, and if you think about the chatbot, there are many interconnected modules. Because right now it seems, you know, GPT, you just ask something and it replies to you. But the problem is it cannot answer specific questions like, where is my parcel? It is not trained on this information. And many, many other things that customers require. So there are many modules, but of course, for me, the most interesting is the AI part. So natural language understanding module. And if we look into this module of natural language understanding, there are such challenges. First of all, we want it to be very accurate. So we need to offer the solution that would be the most accurate. Another, customers very often ask for the chatbot that would understand multiple languages. And plus, nobody ever asked us, so what is the largest amount of data we can provide to you to train the model? They usually ask about the smallest amount of data. So which means we already need to have some artificial brain that could understand different languages, that could already have some knowledge about words, about sentences, about similarities of words and sentences, and etc. And the knowledge of different languages, as I said. And again, so in this step, there are 2 options. So to solve this problem as the text classification problem, so where you have the question, you determine the group for the answer, right, like the class, and then the answer is simply prompted to you. And another more difficult task is when you have to generate the answer. But for this, you need much more training data. and we have the problem in here, right? Okay, so when I say we need the artificial brain, so we actually need the large language model to fine-tune and to adjust for the specific problems. And the model can perform as the encoder, as the classifier, as I said. The text can be, having the text on the input, you can have classes at the output. Or, as for example, GPT works, having text on the input, you can force it to generate only the ID of the class and just ignore everything else. So you just fine-tune it to generate the ID of the class. But okay, let's move to the specific things. Let's move to Tilde's projects. And we often hear that, Tilde is working just on Lithuanian, Latvian, and Estonian languages. That's it. But actually, we work on many, many different languages and the different projects. Here you can see just 3 projects because I was personally involved in them and they were very much influential. So I said already Lithuanian, Latvian, Estonian, we also work in the projects like English, German, French, Portuguese, Italian, and many more languages. So I will show some experiments and some numbers. I was invited here as the researcher, so I must, present some numbers. Okay, so let me show first of all the statistics about small data set. So one of the experiments, I cannot present all the experiments, but some of them. So here you see just 41 interns, so 41 class. This is the classification problem. But the interesting part is the number of training texts. So as you can see, the coverage of each intent is quite small. So we have small data. And here we tested different strategies. Okay, so if we have some artificial brain already as the model, maybe we can, by using different training data, see maybe that model can benefit from, for example, English training data and perform quite good on the Lithuanian testing data, because it is already, for example, multilingual, or it is already cross-lingual. So we tested several strategies by fine-tuning that artificial brain or large model, by training on the same and testing on same language, like Lithuanian. Cross-lingual strategy is when training on, for example, English, but testing on Lithuanian. So it means that the model hasn't seen even any instance in the language we want. So we rely completely on that knowledge that it already has. Combined strategy, when you have English data complemented with the Lithuanian, for example, data, and then you test on the Lithuanian. And the last one is interesting as well, because you have the data from different languages, but not Lithuanian. And when you train it, you test on the Lithuanian language to see if it really works, if it can benefit from the data in another language. So there are accuracies for the English. What I want to pay attention you to, so Da Vinci fine-tuning is actually GPT model. So, and as you can see here, for the English language, it performs the best. And it is not surprising because English language is very well supported. And here you can see the different colors. So more in blue, we have fine-tunable models. Of course, I'm not going into detail about each of them. And in brownish colors, we have memory-based. So if we think about that retrieval augmented generation, so retrieval part is in here, which means that it is still not as good as when you have fine-tunable models, because right now everybody speaks that retrieval, augmented generation will solve all our problems, because if large language model does not have information we need, so we will retrieve it from somewhere, right? And after that, based on what is new and what is retrieved from, for example, Google search, we will generate the answer to the user. But these methods are not so accurate. And this trend is the same for different languages. For Lithuanian, again, what I want to pay attention to, that famous Da Vinci model is not so good for the Lithuanian language. So if we train on English, that famous GPT model, and test on Lithuanian, it is not accurate. And the same trend is for Latvian language, but not for German, not for French, not for Portuguese, and I'm going to the conclusions. So, if we compare the results for different languages, we see that there is the gap for smaller languages like Lithuanian, Latvian. It is not the same accuracy as for larger, and it is very explainable because all models that were used here were multilingual, and the Lithuanian language was among other languages and not so well supported. And fine-tunable methods usually outperform memory-based. And cross-lingual models benefit from the data in other language, but not all models. You see that powerful GPT model is not that actually powerful for the Lithuanian language. And if I could recommend you something, so if you agree with proprietary model, of course, GPT with the correctly selected strategy is the best model for the Lithuanian language. But if you want something, not proprietary, then language agnostic-based BERT sentence embedding model. And about the future, so as you see, it's quite a lot of done for the Lithuanian language. It's not resource scarce anymore as it was 10, 15 years ago. But still, we are very much looking forward more into new models that could support smaller languages as well. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Jurgita, as well. If you have any questions, please raise a hand. So, yeah.
Thank you. I have one question. So basically, you mentioned those numbers, the accuracy, I assume. So what kind of data were you fine-tuning the models on, and what were you testing it on? What kind of structure was it?
So I probably have to return back to the data set. So there were just simply text with the attached category or intent. So just the pure text with a category. So they were originally in English language, but for all these experiments, the texts were translated into other languages, and the training part was machine translated, the testing part was human translated to imitate the situation that, for example, you don't have training data in in your target language, but some customers or users will test it in the language they want, so then they will already write fluent sentences and ask questions.
Can I? Okay. So follow-up question. Basically, when you tested, what kind of data set was it like? Was it just creative writing, or was it like chats or something, or was it a specific task that the model was trained to do?
Okay, so this data set was Tilde's Bureau's data set, so like frequently asked questions, questions for the specific answers.
Yeah. Are there any government grants to actually get those models in, with Lithuanian language especially?
Yes, so, well, I probably don't know very specific. Of course, there are initiatives. People are talking a lot about that, and we really need, and but nothing in particular right now. I mean, they are just project proposals, I would say, at this stage.
Because there are quite a few really good initiatives around the world. So, for example, if you've seen a sea lion model, which is like Singaporean, all that Asian Pacific languages in general. So like they actually, instead of like waiting for OpenAI or other companies to support it, they just like, did a grant of the government. So perhaps that would be a way for us.
Yes, maybe. I also got invitation from the Swedish group working on the Lithuanian language. I was very surprised, but probably Lithuanian language is among several languages. So I don't know in particular about this project, but they just invited to join. And so it seems even other countries are thinking more probably about the Lithuanian language than we think ourselves. Yeah, we just think the others already doing.
We're gonna get there.
Well, in Lithuania, people are also working. Just probably, I cannot tell about everything very loud, but yeah, there are people who are working. But some of these models are proprietary, so probably everybody wants that open source model that we all could use, fine tune and etc. So the major goal is this.
Okay, thank you, Jurgita.
Yeah.
That was really interesting. A small gift from us. And now, a third presentation of today's event will be given by a tech lead and data scientist at Hostinger International, Mantas Lukauskas. And he will tell about his company's journey with generative AI technology. The stage is yours.
Not? Okay, I think you can hear me now. Let's move. I won't talk about these things. Okay, so today I will talk about a lot of things, but mainly I'll talk about how generative AI is applied in Hostinger, how our users can use generative AI without any knowledge about AI. So let's start about me. Basically, I started as a material scientist, not as data scientist. I finished my studies in nanotechnologies, and after that, I moved to math, and currently I am a PhD student, a researcher at Kaunas University of Technology, and my main position is at Hostinger. How many of you know Hostinger? Okay, good, one thing. How many of you use Hostinger services? Not so bad, not so good. I hope till the next AI meetup you will use our Hostinger services. So talking about Hostinger, Hostinger was founded 2004, so 20 years ago. And I personally started at Zyro, not Hostinger. That was like small part about. I see some people from Zyro, Inga, Matas, and yeah, so started at Zyro, and right now we are part of Hostinger. Last year we reached 2 million users, and right now we have 2.6 million users since the last year, so almost not 1 year passed, and we are almost up, we have extra 500,000 users. I think first million users was reached in 11 years or something like that, second million in 3 years. And right now we will reach our third million users in 1 year, maybe more. Talk about Hostinger, we have like 5 products. 47% of our employees is customer support. So chatbots, AI assistants is very important for us. we can imagine that, working in a lot of countries. So basically talking about AI and assistants and chatbots and other stuff, it is important multi-language. We need to support all possible languages. And as the slide shows, our largest market are India, Brazil, Indonesia, and so on. And we work based on these 10 principles. I see some smiles from previous IRO members. Yeah, so in epoch of AI, most important thing for me, and I think for all of us, or let's say, learn and be curious. Everything is changing. You need to move fast to get in touch about everything. Every week or 2 weeks, you can see new models. You can see Llama 3, you can see Llama 3 QA in Hugging Face, and so different models. You need to always be up to date with information working in AI. No one of the presenters before showed that about AI this slide, so I will leave the slide. AI is not a new thing. Right now, yeah, we talk about AI. We see AI everywhere. All products is called AI products. Everything, you can even use some random classification and it will be AI product and so on. But term of AI was released first time 70 years ago, that long period. And right now we moved like that big moving with AI came with ChatGPT. ChatGPT was like, okay, nice interface, nice chatting services. But behind that was like GPT 3.5 model. DaVinci is GPT-3, we can call that. And in Hostinger, I will explain, we worked previous, not only with these models, we started early stage of AI. And I like this slide. If you want to evaluate how AI is moving, you can take a look into NVIDIA revenue. It is like skydiving. Not skydiving, skyrocketing. Yeah. Okay, so we see growing revenue every year, Meta buying new GPUs, H100, and so on. And if we talk about models, who release most models? Right now, USA. Yeah, we see everyone is talking about China, how regulation will impact models releases and different stuff. But we can see USA is still in the first place, and Europe, right now we can say we are behind China and USA. And with all Europe AI Act, I think we will stay in that place, probably. And Gediminas talked about how AI can replace us. And interesting thing that based on the World Economic Forum, you can see that 49% of companies think that AI will create new jobs, not lower number of jobs, but it will create new jobs. Only 4 industries of 27 thinks that they will need to reduce a specific number of people, will need to reduce jobs. And yeah, 99% of tasks can be automated, maybe even more if you will think with current trend of performance increases with every model release, and a lot of time saving. Yeah, I think everyone here using GitHub Copilot or different applications to save time. And let's say jobs can be automated. In most cases, it is office and administrative support. And as Gediminas mentioned, it is like everything that requires manual work, it is hard to change with AI. How many of you use GitHub Copilot? Okay, and how many of you use other, not GitHub Copilot, like Tab9, ABS Code Whisper, and so on. Okay, we have few hands, only few hands. So basically, we can agree with this one graph. There are multiple tools for writing, for images, for video, audio, code, work, and so on. Most of these tools, not free, but that pricing is really low. You can easily access them, like ChatGPT. Right now, ChatGPT released new model, GPT-4o. It will be like free for specific number of messages and so on. So it will be like more equal between people to use AI for like where you want to use that AI. And why I showed that these AI tools, because let's move to hostinger part. Old-fashioned way to build your website was like, okay, you need to find programmer, you need to find developer who will build website for you. It is high cost, complexity, and time-consuming. You need to like explain what you want. A developer will create a website for you, and you will be not happy with that website. You will recreate that website, and so on. And we moved to a part where we work zero on, like drag and drop builders. You need to just drag your like text boxes, images, and different things. Simple process. You can reduce cost. You can simply build website by your own. It is easy to do. But right now, in age of generative AI, even that is too hard for people. It is like, okay, I do not longer want to drag and drop, build elements and create a website. I just want to write what I want in my website, and I want to create that website. That's all. So we are working with that, and like, okay, now we can make personalized images, instant development, like cost really low for user. For us, maybe it could be costly, but where we started. Now we see, okay, here we have zero member Matas, and I will explain why it is important, because some of features, it was before me. Those features do not look good, but these awards, what we used long time ago, most of them like, okay, let's take one GPT-Neo models. Who knows those models? Okay, I see 4 hands, like, okay, GPT-Neo models. That was like a low-tier AI models where you could fine-tune those models and for specific tasks, and that was perfect. GPT-J, same, DaVinci, Babbage models, Curry models, and so many words. And in Zyro, we started with AI heat map. We started with business name generator. All those models was not only fine-tuned, all those models was trained from scratch. So we had to train those models from scratch. We had like slogan generator, writer, and so on. This is, I think, one of the first our AI feature. You see how it looked like. Like you need to select just you want to generate your blog title. You need to select your category, and that's all. You do not have like many choices to what you want to do. You just select specific topic, and that's all. Right now, it would be really hard thing, not hard thing, but it is really rare to see such thing, because the ChatGPT, GPT models, or any other models like Llama, you can easily do that in single like press. That's all. It is easy to do, and I do not know, Matas, maybe you can elaborate me here. How long took to build this feature?
We had to gather data. We, I think, did some fine-tuning, so probably a few months.
Yeah, and right now with GPT API, you can make such feature in, I don't know, a few hours, 1 hour, and so on. Yeah, I said how we started. That was like 4 years ago. And after that, we moved to AI business name generator. That was my first feature in Zyro team in Hostinger. And that was fine-tuned model, I think, GPT Neo, which no one knows here about it. We fine-tuned those models. Again, gather all data, fine-tune models, and based on keywords and description, you generate business name. We had like writer, and you see writer, you need to select category, you get only text for that category. We like predefined categories, and that's all. You can't do anything except those categories. But we had some useful features. You can see like logo generator. Do any of these logos looks like logos right now? No, be true here. But we have some really, really good features. I think only a few months ago we deprecated those features like upscaler, background remover, heat map. We still have it, like built 5 years ago and still working perfectly. Users using it and just perfect. And how where we are now? Let's move. First thing that comes to my mind is AI assistants. We have AI assistants everywhere. We try to help our users as much as possible. Like we have AI assistant in WordPress. You can ask questions about WordPress. You can make code for your WordPress and so on. We have assistants in our builder, like for open me something, like write me something and so on. Answer where I can get instruction how to do specific things and so on. And biggest and hardest, I think, our AI assistant is customer support AI assistant. It is really, really hard for us to make perfect AI assistant because we, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have 5 different product lines. We have VPS hosting, we have domain selling, we have builder, and so on. And we have many, many different questions. It is really, really hard to make perfect AI assistant in such cases. And that was our first chat between our customer and our AI assistant. Good thing that it was first for sure, not cherry-picked message, but after this one, there maybe 5-10 bad chats. That was like, okay, our first message was, we have this one printed and in frame in our office. Like we have picture of that in our office, because it was like a really, really good thing. Overall, all AI assistants started like just small experiment on laptop. I started that just after work, I think, and so on, when we moved to larger and larger scale. And right now, I showed you how our writer looked like before. Right now, we have AI assistant. You can ask anything in Builder. You can freely ask what you want to, how to do specific things, and you will use our built AI assistant. If you need to, let's say, sell products and how to sell those products, you have different AI assistants which can answer you different questions. And but that was about AI assistants. Where we use AI and help users to build their websites. One of the most important thing, I think, AI website builder. You can just write what brand name, what business, what website type you want, and make some description, and you will get your website in a minute, and so on. That's all. You do not need any longer to drop down elements. You will have like website built for you. If you have problem with color selection, which is hard if you are not a designer, because you need to know your contrast, what colors are good, what colors are bad for your website. Also, you can get these colors. If you need AI writer before was like, okay, you can select specific categories. Right now, you can just, okay, what you need for your website, what topic you want to write in your website, and you can make description, and you will get your generated text. Just copy, paste to your website, and that's all. You have your all text. If you need images in your website, we have like image generator. You can just write what you want, and you do not need to go back to all those tools I showed you before. You can use directly in website builder. It is simple as that. And logo maker. That looks like right now. Compare with before, Matas, how it looks like. Yeah, so we have totally different logo maker, and that is easy for user. What you want to have, like what style you want to have logos, you can choose of those logos, write some text in the logos, and perfect. Also, not only text generation, like paragraph of text, you can generate full blog. You no longer need to write your blog. Or, okay, if you want to write your blog, you can do that. But you can change your text, like have some ideas from AI, change your text how you want to do that, and that's all. AI assistant for description, like it is sometimes hard to explain product, write text about product. You can simply generate that text. And one of the latest, I think, AI features in AI website builder is SEO assistant. You simply, SEO assistant can scan your page and suggest what metadata, what title you need, what you are missing in your website to be first rank in Google search. It can help you a lot to be more successful online. And our heat map still working and still using in our website builder. And I showed you before that domain generation was my first feature where I built that from scratch, trained all models, collected data, and so on. And right now we have totally different that domain generation. You can describe that domain even more what you want. It will simply even check if those domains are available for you. And you can not only get the names and after that check domains, you can just select and buy those domains. And that is just part of everything in hosting and what you are doing with AI. And from the internal tools, one of the most, I think, interesting, or one of the tools I can show you is feedback analytics. Like if you are working globally, you have like 3 million users, you have a lot of user feedback. So simply you need to somehow summarize those feedbacks. You do not have time to read all those feedbacks because it is flowing and flowing. So we have built system for let's call system feedback analytics. Simply you analyze those feedbacks. You have like group sentiments, reports, specific topics if you want to have. It is simplify your work a lot. So that is one of our internal tools. And I think that's all. If you have questions, that's all.
Yeah. Thank you, Mantas. And yeah, there is one hand already there.
Klausk, Viktorai, klausk.
I have a loud voice, but let's do the microphone. Okay, so we all know that customers want to be unique. Have you ever had a situation where you generated a logo that looks identical or nearly similar to two customers?
Hard to check. First thing, that identical or near to identical. I can't answer this question because it is hard to check such thing. Yeah, probably we can let's say run some similarities of generated logos and check if those logos is generated before, because yeah, some two peoples in the world maybe can write the same prompt, but we are enhancing that prompt, so it is hard to you have seed, you're changing those seed randomly. It is hard to generate same logo two times, but as an idea to check similarities, if that logo was not generated before, it would be good.
Other question?
Hey. Look,
I hope not the same question
No.
as before.
No, it's okay. So I believe most of us, if not all of us, have seen the recent presentation from OpenAI about omnimodal AI, right?
Yeah.
Now, thinking about it, how will this affect relevance of web and web hosting and websites in general when you can actually converse with an agent who's capable of actually going to the site or going to some certain specific context? So basically, it might affect it. So how much do you think it will happen and how soon?
Right now, it is not a problem for us, but I saw some companies doing such thing that they no longer want to be like #1 rank in Google. They want to be included in assistant in OpenAI model. So it is more important for you like to have more and more information in that LLM model about your company to generate better review, better opinion about your company. And about website, I do not think that it will like extinguish from the world website. So I think it will stay anyway. Maybe we will change such things, and we will need to convert our websites more friendly to AI agents. That's all I think. Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. And how did the growth of AI models changed the workloads of AI handling from on-prem to cloud or services that are just available outsourced?
You mean that what we are using right now?
Yes. How did the balance change what you had AI models on premise, in-house, and what did...
Right now, balance is more to cloud and third parties. But I think we'll move to more on-premise as well, because we see some specific applications or points where we need our own model, not longer the general model. Also, we are using, like Jurgita said about RAG systems. We are using such systems. So those systems are on-premise for, we are not using something like a third party for such systems. We can build them inside. But talking about models right now, I think most of the companies probably using third parties, and that's all.
Okay, thank you, Mantas. Small gift from Centric. And since we heard a third presentation, so it means we concluded our first part of Kaunas AI Meetup. So now in the back of this room, there are some snacks, some drinks, so feel free to refresh yourself, to network with each other. If you were too shy to ask a presenter some kind of question, so feel free to reach out to them. And after 20 minutes, we will return back here and we will have a panel discussions between 3 AI experts. Okay, thank you. Okay, welcome back. And now in Kaunas AI Meetup, we will have a second part, a discussion between three AI experts about building AI-ready organizations. And at the beginning, I would like to introduce all of participants. So first of all, like I mentioned before, the godfather of Kaunas AI Meetup. And as well, he has to earn money from somewhere, so he is also a head of AI at Hostinger International. Next to him is Artūras Baravykas, independent strategy and data consultant, former director, head of strategy and analytics at Unicorn Vinted. And as well, a guy which I saw sometimes in the office, so Laimonas Andriulis, data and AI expertise and offerings leader at Centric IT Solutions. So let's make an icebreaker and tell how did your journey into data world started and what was the landscape back then. So let's start from you, Laimonas.
Good afternoon to begin with. Can you hear me well? Oh, yes. I started about 10 years ago, so not that long ago. I was studying applied mathematics, so this is where I got into the field of data analytics and machine learning, etc., etc. There were some history presented in a couple of presentations today already. And then, but I kind of learned rather, let's say, theory, and I needed to understand how to apply that in business. So then I obviously joined a couple companies 10 years ago while I was still studying. And what I would say, what is rather different from current situation is there were not many companies, even in IT field, and I'm not even talking about outside of IT field because I guess the adoption of AI is still rather slow in those fields. In IT field, in IT companies, I was a couple times one of the first or even first person doing that job. And it's like, good luck. You have a task, and it ranges from you have to build reports as well as to build some sort of strategy. And we heard that there are some machine learning algorithms out there that a couple companies in the world are working on. Good luck with that. So this is how I started, and that was kind of the landscape. You were first at the company. And well, it's a bit different now, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. And Thomas, how about you?
Yeah, hello. To be honest, so data is not the thing I fall in love the most. It's the AI and algorithms. So, and data is just the part of the package, we can say so. So, to be honest, I remember 20 years ago, one of my professors talked about signals processing and speech recognition. And I remember that it was the moment I understood that the future belongs to machine learning, to algorithms, and data, of course, yeah. And from that time, I was like working on speech recognition problem. And back then, it was like template matching, hidden Markov models, n-grams, something like that. Yeah, you worked on the same field, I guess. So field was like Wild West. Basically, no technology existed, like universal technology did not exist. We were experimenting a lot. SVM was part of those algorithms that showed like a promise. But it turns out that it was fake news. So yeah, so that's it.
Okay, thank you. And Arturas, what is your story?
My story started in 2012, 2014. I was doing masters back then. And I remember a lot of buzz going on around data at that time as well, like big data, machine learning, cloud computing, data mining. Spark was released, I think, in 2014, which was quite a big boost for data community, in managing vast amounts of data. And I remember reading Harvard Business Review article, which was called Data Scientist is the Sexiest Job of 21st Century. It actually resonated a lot with me and with a couple of my course mates. I remember we were discussing it back then. And I truly believed, and still believe, that there is a lot of knowledge and information hidden in data, which we still didn't use. So I decided, to dedicate my passion to mathematics, to statistics, and to continue my journey in data field. And that's how I chose this profession.
Okay. So what I forgot to mention, so if you have any questions you would like to ask to our participants, so please use slido.com. You can join using a QR code or enter the web and put the code there. So, okay, let's jump to other questions. So, as well, a disclaimer, Laimonas is one of my supervisors, so I will try to give him the easiest questions because I want to save myself not only from AI, but from him too. So, Laimonas, what is your favorite meal?
Kebabi.
Okay, yeah. Tomorrow we have kebabi at our offices. But why it is so hard to build AI products, or maybe it's not, you can build like that.
That's for me?
Yeah.
Oh, so why it is hard to build AI product? We heard a couple estimates today already, and when Mantas was giving presentations, he said, well, a couple hours now, but then a couple of years back, guys had to work a couple months on a feature, on one feature, basically. So then I would also consider thinking, do we start at IT organization, or maybe we are working completely in different field, and then we have no best practices at all. And also you talk about the right skill set to manage projects in general, IT projects, IT products development, some common used tooling in the IT, etc., sort of. Do we have the culture to build a product? And then if it's not there, well, it's going to be quite a hard job to create the culture to begin with. But then if you have it already, it's going to be easier. And then from 2 hours to 2 months per feature. And then guys and girls working on different features on the same time. But then you will run into data issues like data accessibility, data quality, whether you can use it according to GDPR, and then ethics, and then there is a AI Act. It's going to come into play in a year and a half, I think, officially, but it's already released. So it's sort of data quality. Also, don't remember if I mentioned that one. So all of those things, well, they are hard. In my opinion, it is hard to build a product, especially if you're starting from scratch and you don't have the culture of IT in-house already.
Yeah. So colleagues, if you want to add something, feel free and just. Yeah.
Well, but it depends on the product itself.
Of course. You know, if we have two if statements and you call it AI, what was also mentioned, so it's sort of, it's...
From my side, like, I have more experience working on the smaller scale products. So in general, now to build a quite decent product, it requires like 20% of your effort. So with 20% of your effort, you could build like 80% complete product. But if you want to have like very good, if it's based on AI and you need to improve the accuracy and make your product really, really useful, you need to spend all the 80% to improve that. So first iteration, if you are working using the iteration framework, so it's very quick. Your prototype could be built and tested like in a weeks, but all the rest process will require lots of effort, and then all these stages you mentioned will come into place, like data and so on.
Yeah, and Thomas, maybe today's event is a good example, and maybe you think that AI is a bit too hyped up because there is a lot of interest in it, or maybe it is powerful technology but yet underutilized.
Who here thinks that AI is overhyped? Please raise a hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 people. Yeah.
Okay, so I will agree with. No. Basically, what I'm thinking that it's both. It's a mix of both. Like it is overhyped, yes, but it is also underutilized, because as I mentioned, we can build a product basically in a week. It might be crappy, but it still will be a product, and you can generate revenue with it. But is AI used to solve those issues that could create the biggest impact? So currently, no. Like climate change or healthcare, they really are not utilizing AI enough, and we should in order to achieve more, to focus on those areas that are most difficult. For example, last month, OpenAI and Moderna agreed and started to collaborate to improve the process of drug discovery. So it's one step closer to solving those, impactful problems. But there are lots of more that could be solved using AI. So I think it is not, it is underutilized, and it is because that we still do not know how impactful the AI could be. What we experiencing now, it's, in my opinion, just the surface, and text generation, image, and so on. So AI has more depth in it, and we need to work to understand how we can benefit from it more.
Yeah. Okay. And Artūras, we heard from Thomas that AI is underutilized. So how big organizations, for example, like Vinted, can foster the data and AI culture?
Yeah, so it's not easy question to answer in 3 minutes. I think you need like half an hour or an hour for that.
And a bottle of beer.
Yeah.
I will ask. Everyone has a spare half an hour, so we can start then.
But first, I think you need to ask yourself, why do we need the data culture and AI culture in the first place, right? And the answers to these questions gonna guide you. Okay, so how are we gonna create that? But I think there are a couple of overlapping things which you need to take into consideration when doing that. So first of all, you need to start from the top, from the senior leadership, and you need to have full commitment of these people. They need to show example to the rest of the organization first from themselves, right? How they use the data and AI in their decision making, everyday work life. And this example gonna then cascade to the rest of the organization, so it's super powerful. Of course, you need empower your data team because these are people who gonna make sure that there is lively, evolving data culture in your team. So you need in your company, you need right skillful people in the right places and with right tool set to foster that. And Yeah, of course, when it's trainings of the rest of the organization, show and tell sessions are very powerful, for inspiration for others to show what you have done. And the toolset which you choose, because one of the key concepts of the toolset which you're gonna use in your organization should be as little friction point as possible for the people to use data in your organization, or AI models or machine learning models, whatever. If it's super easy to use and intuitive, people understand that. So you're gonna see what even non-analytical people starting to use that in organization, and it's gonna cascade. It's gonna end up in a lot of features, in decision making, and so on.
And what were the challenges at Vinted when you were trying to foster and to put AI culture on the top level?
All of these were challenges, but you take one at a time, you overcome that, and you continue. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, Magnus. So, question: how is this critical to have data and AI expertise in-house? Meaning having a department, a team in a company, or maybe it is better for you to fire all of us, starting from tomorrow from Centric, and start outsource from, for example, I don't know, from Hostinger.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends what your company is doing. So, well, to briefly touch on our situation, let's say we are building, well, we have quite a wide range of standard products that Centric is selling, and then we are also building custom solutions for anyone. So for us, we definitely need people in-house to be able to offer that to the customers. But then, so it depends. This is the case for us, for example. But then again, if you would start somewhere from some sort of business that is reselling bikes, I don't know, it's not an IT company doing something. Maybe it's a good beginning. One thing that you cannot outsource is basically what Artūras told, the leadership. Somebody in the company has to care about the problem, and the best that is on a top management level. Somebody each morning wakes up with a headache that this is not solved. It has to be solved, and you cannot really outsource a headache to someone. Nobody's going to care, or well, you shouldn't outsource the headache to someone. Then other thing you cannot really outsource is the domain knowledge. Well, I'm IT solutions provider. I don't know nothing about bikes, so or ice creams or whatever. So if you have that business, I would expect, and that's what I see among the customers as well, that customers themselves, they know a lot about their domain, and they also read about things. And nowadays, all the headlines, ChatGPTs, etc., and they have some competitors which are front runners in their business, and they apply things, and they say, well, I know that this is applicable in my domain, and we need people like this to develop something. But then what follows next is you have the headache, you have the domain, you know that's kind of possible, but you don't know how long it's going to take, what is the investment, etc., etc. And you have 0 IT people in your organization, let's say. So in this case, I would say, yeah, outsource that. Ask someone to do a feasibility study, proof of concept, proof of value, something like this, couple of months on my problem that I have. And then after that, well, if usually companies consulting companies like that come up with some plan or proposition, and then you can see what's the investment and whether you want to take that in-house or not. So it sort of, depends what you are doing.
But Thomas and Artūras, you both would agree that Laimonas should not fire our team.
Well, it's look like a very experienced team, so...
Thank you. Shout out to colleagues, Gediminas, to you too. Yeah, okay, so, and Thomas, you are head of AI at Hostinger, so one of the top guys regarding implementing data and AI workflows. So what are the common challenges that you are facing and how we can be overcome.
So from technical perspective, I would say maybe my colleagues or maybe Mantas is the most suitable guy to answer. But in general, as I see that technology, large language models are very huge. So in order to run them, you need resources. And deciding between, going on-premise or maybe using some third-party provider is one of the challenges. So deciding on how you will do your model training or the usage of the data in the longer perspective, because in the short term you might use third-party providers, but if you collect all the data in the longer term, you can move into your on-premises by training like smaller language models. So it's a technical challenge, but the maybe trickier part is a human challenge. And in order to, what was the question?
How challenges of implementing data in the AI workflows. Yeah.
Okay, so and moving to human part. So when implementing, you have to decide basically what you are trying to achieve with AI, what problem you want to solve, and how you will be measuring this. So the decision is one of the challenges, because I bet everybody has lots of ideas what we need to work and to spend our resources on, but selecting the one that will really create value, it's really challenging. Another challenge is people, because now, for example, we are searching for AI engineer. I don't know, half a year, and ad is still open. Because to find the experience, like language models, artificial intelligence field, it's very difficult. So you have two choices, plan ahead. So you need to dedicate lots of time, because these people are not so easy to find. Or you can, grow a talent inside the company. So it's one thing. And another challenge that we experience in Hostinger, it was like not overselling the AI inside the company. Because believe me, if you fail with that, all the requests that are like, I need to scrape a web, I need to take data from this store and aggregate it and visualize it, will end up in your team, because AI is powerful. Everybody thinks that AI can do everything, and suddenly you have misalignment between the expectations and the reality. So do not overselling the AI is also not overselling is a challenge here. And what else? Data. Yeah, you have to have data. So if you are planning like implementing large language models in your processes, so make sure you have data in advance. It will be helpful. Yeah. Something to add, guys?
Yeah. So there was one keyword mentioned, measuring. So when you are trying to promote AI solutions to leadership, Arturas, like you mentioned, you need to measure the solution's success somehow. And leadership likes KPIs. We want to see numbers. And what are the KPIs that can be measured that meaning that AI is successful, or maybe there are some different ways to measure the success of data and AI solutions?
Yeah, I think leadership most often cares about business results. So we want to know to see, okay, what what is the value added by this feature or this initiative based on business success, like revenue, or, well, it depends on your company, but I think most of the companies care about revenue, right? It's not the accuracy of the model or etc. It's for data people. And so it's very important, to connect both worlds. And for us as data people, to be able to explain to the leadership, to business people in the business terms, okay, what our initiative has done. Because where the most often problems come from because of this misalignment, because data people are trying to reach for some objective and business people are expecting the other. And this is when disappointment comes in data initiatives and business people are less willing to invest in the future. Of course, they're not always direct impact to revenue. It can be measured through proxy metrics. So for example, we had many different teams working on different parts of the products. Some teams were working on shipping, others were working on payments, trust and safety, and so on. So you as a team working in trust and safety, you have your objective, for example, to reduce the amount of scammers on the platform. But you are able to measure, okay, our model reduced this amount of scammers by this percentage. It means, more successful transactions and thus this percentage of revenue improvement overall. So this is, I think, how it should be done.
Yeah, and talking about revenue, how long it should take for a new solution to become profitable? For example, let's say you create something new and after 1 year, it starts to generate some revenue. Would you say it's successful or not?
It depends on return on investment, how much you invested in this project, and what you expect return, what kind of return you expect to get from it. And this is a business decision, and you can measure, okay, are we okay as a company, to invest this amount, and only after a year it pays back, or not.
Maybe Magnus, would you like to add something on that?
No, I just can agree with everything what was said before. It's quite hard to in general, managers and technical people are usually talking different languages, and then technical people are aiming to some accuracies and whatnot in those areas, and that. Yeah, how that increases revenue. Basically, that's main question, right? It's hard to. We are talking with different languages to begin with, and then we are measuring things differently. And how to find what is connecting us, that's the challenge.
Yeah, I was asking you because I am data analyst and I am building reports with a lot of KPIs in it,
yep.
and maybe there were a new request to build a new Power BI report regarding the success of our AI. So I was double checking.
Yeah, okay, it will come.
Oh, so I'll take day off tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, so Thomas, there was a huge craze last year, 2023, regarding AI. So, for example, I was participating in Web Summit in Lisbon, and I don't know, 80% of talks were related with AI. So whenever you go, AI. So,
are you talking about the Google keynote from yesterday?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So
there was a short summary of the keynote speech, and everybody's saying AI.
Yeah, there is a song from our singer Vaidas Baumila, Boom, AI. So there was a craze last year. So how did you navigate during that craze? Did you utilize large language models or GPT-4 in any particular way? Could you share some examples with us?
Yeah, so from personal perspective, so yeah, it was a great year because I think all of us got a new friend, a Coworker, it's ChatGPT. So I really started using it in a daily life, solving daily issues like coding, double checking, Googling, even, asking questions. Now, if I start open the Google page and start typing what I search, in most cases, it's like a question or a command is the same way I'm writing in ChatGPT. Like where I can find the most. Not so. In my opinion, these tools helped me improve my productivity by a lot. Talking from company perspective, so as Mantas mentioned, we started working with large language models with GPT-2 release, I think, and it was 6 years ago. Okay, 6 years ago. So the technology wasn't new, and we already knew that. So what amazed me the most, it was the speed that technology evolved. So we were using language models. Now we are using them much more because now it is easily available. And like Mantas said, it was quite difficult to train them, to deploy them. And now everything is much, much easier. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And Laimonas, so we saw from our speakers that technology continues to evolve, and there were some examples that we spent, 4 years on building something compared to 2 months or 1 month. So technology continues to evolve, and how can organizations be future-proof in terms of data and AI strategy? I believe this is your field.
Yeah, but this is a question to basically summarize the whole discussion that we have here, I guess. So everything that was told before, that's. But then, if being future-proof is sort of a enterprise bull bingo game, and then you run into all the things like data governance and then securities and compliance with different certificates, etc., etc., etc. So if you do that part well, that's kind of okay. But then what it truly means is that you have within your organization, you have to have some sort of purpose, strategy, vision, mission, something like this. You have to have people that cares about that. You have to put all the people in the right processes and the right order. So you have, you know why you are doing that. You have the right team on board. You have the right processes, and then tooling as well. So it's sort of if you have most of the things in place, I would say, and you are able to stand your ground, then any audit would come and would ask any question. Well, you are ready for that. So it's sort of you have to have a foundation to build on. But now, how to keep up and not to lag behind, and that's sort of being also future-proof. Well, it depends on the strategy, depends on the company itself. And then Thomas gave an example. Well, you can build something in a couple of weeks and test it, and that's really nice. Having those people working on things that are cutting edge, something like this. Well, techniques that came just a couple of days back, and trying to put them into place. That is a way to do that. But I also believe there are plenty of room, and I'm maybe more conservative. I don't like to take the first bullet, but then there is plenty of business after that. So just not to linger too much on this question is basically, I would say, you have to be able to stand your ground. You have to be able to explain what you are doing and know what you are doing, and you have to have the right people. And that's pretty much it. And then if you have that, then the people can spend the time on looking to the future.
Yeah. So Arturas, really simple question. Did you had any challenge of having data silos in Vinted?
Yeah.
Okay, you had the data silos, so can you share your experience and maybe good practice how to approach that challenge and maybe build new solutions on it?
Yeah, so actually this question resonates a lot with the previous one on data and AI culture, right, in the company. I think by design you want to build the culture in the way that it does not create silos. Intentionally. But of course, there might be some, artifacts for present or other organizational issues in the company. One thing I think where you need to start again from the top leadership, and it's very important to align all your organization that we all work on the same goals. You want your data people, working on the same goals as product people and engineering and etc. So this one, if we have a single goal, this breaks a lot of silos, instantly. Then you want to have unified leadership of data department. It's very important, to bring all the data people together to make sure, their skill set level, knowledge sharing processes in place. Also, this leader is responsible for communication with all the stakeholders in the company who are using data. And these are not necessarily data scientists or machine learning engineers and etc. It can be product managers. So you as a responsible leader need to understand their needs and also, adapt your data department accordingly. You need data tooling, and for example, we had centralized data warehouse. I think it helped a lot because all of people can, access most of the data. You know where it is. It's in a single place. You know how to work with that, and also for non-analytical, non-analytical people, we built like dashboarding tools where we can access the same data with little effort. And also what we did, we worked in these cross-functional teams. So the core of the company, the product development was done in the cross-functional teams with product managers, engineers, designers, and also part of analytics team was embedded in these cross-functional teams. So they were very close to the decision-making, to the feature-making, to user problem-solving, 24/7, basically. And it really helped, to bridge that gap and not to have, silo in this place.
Yeah, and Thomas, how often you had to go to senior upper management and try to break that data silos?
I'm thinking now because I was thinking about something else.
After party?
Yeah. I was thinking how much beer should I take tonight?
Yeah. So it's related to after party. Yeah. So maybe it could be a KPI for you to track and to measure a success.
Now you have lost me, and I need to think about it a bit more. I really over listened to the answer, so it's difficult to jump into the talk.
As a beer lover, I understand you. Sometimes you can lose your attention. So keep up with thinking about beer. So we'll address next question to Laimonas. And now data privacy and a lot of regulations, laws are coming in, and as well there could be some troubles of making some AI solutions. So how big organizations can navigate into making some solutions to deliver some products in terms of those ethical regulations, ethical and law problems?
Two things, I guess. if I would look at those laws and regulations and the new AI Act, etc., I'm kind of glad that I'm no longer in university and I'm in a bigger organization, and then for us, sort of a stability and stable solutions are sort of the way to go. But then, if I would be a student back then, and then I have my best friend, and we have a nice idea, and we start building some AI product on a data that, well, we cannot really explain how we got that. And then we are really enthusiastic about that, and then when we are ready, well, life kicks us in the head with all the paperwork you have to do about the data. Yeah, that's tough. So from that perspective, well, it's quite it's a quite hard thing to put on businesses to begin with. But then again, from the current standpoint that I have, I like it honestly, because it gives. For free by the government, it gives a good set of requirements for your solutions. And then if you manage to understand that, and if you implement the things that are said in those documents, you have a nice playing field where you can then work in. And then you then by design know that to your customer you're offering a good solution that is stable, compliant, etc., etc. And then obviously it takes more than a couple of weeks to release it, obviously. But then if that's the game that you are playing in the field, I don't know, Centric has quite some governmental customers, and you cannot really release something fast there. So for that reason, I like it. But then how to deal with that and how to keep up with everything? Well, the document, the act itself, it's 600 pages long. I guess, yeah, we are not going to read that, right? But some of us will, and then some of us will read some books how to apply it. And then, well, we have independent consultants like Artur is here. He will come to your organization, spend half a day explaining it to you. You will pay him, obviously, his fee. But then, yeah, you don't really have to understand that. Again, if you are not offering that yourself, if you outsource the work, and then if you outsource feasibility studies and things like that, yeah, outsource this as well, or well, have a team in-house that understand it. And again, sort of more conservative view, back to the point, standing your ground, etc. Well.
Yeah.
There will be lots of cheat sheet.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, so let's before jumping into questions from our audience, we have 21 questions. So as well, additional 30 minutes for you. So for the ones who are waiting at home, so notify them. So yeah, the colleague from Centric gave a presentation. Would AI replace us? So I am nervous a bit every day because I'm data analyst, and it could be, I'm thinking that perhaps it could replace me, or maybe not. So what is your opinion? Should Laimanas switch me to AI or not? So let's start from you, Thomas, if you...
Yeah. We can.
Yeah.
So will AI replace you?
As I am data analyst. So
okay.
Let's take this as example.
No, for me it's very cliche to have such a question, because it's I don't know, it's everywhere, like in the media conference and so even Gediminas made a presentation here about that. So I totally agree with Gediminas' insights. So we will be definitely not changed by AI. Of course, some tasks will be delegated to the AI, to a Coworker, but basically we can be, chill and do not think about such a question like for 50 years at least, because there is a lot of more than neural equation in us, and still we do not understand how we are functioning. So some equations cannot replace human for now, but some specific tasks can be automated and delegated to it to perform.
Arturas, same question.
Yeah, I agree. Well, though AI can, draw insights from huge amounts of data, but like human is very good in emotional intelligence and creativity, critical thinking, which is very necessary for business decision making, and AI cannot do it right now. I see it, as complementing people, synergies between AI and humans. They opening up new ways to innovate, to add value to business, but I don't believe it's gonna replace us anytime soon.
And Laimonas, will you replace me?
Not for now, I guess, but I agree with colleagues here and then with Gediminas as well, but and I guess we are looking, but those answers sound to me like, well, 10, 20, 30 years ahead, something like this. But then, if you would go 100 years ahead or something like this, well, I hope I will be replaced, one thing. But then in order for that to happen, and I'm not really worried about the technology itself. Well, we don't know how to create that kind of technology to be able to replace a lot of things that we do. Well, was explained before, but countries are never going to agree on that to begin with. It's all political and it's all alignment between businesses and different countries, etc., etc. And then, since before Christ, we barely had any time when there were no wars, no conflicts. It was like a couple of years throughout 2,000 years, let's say, starting from that. So in order to have an environment where nobody has to do anything, well, we have to agree what people are doing then. Because if people have too much free time, it can be really good, or it also can be really dangerous. And then, well, we have to do something else. So in the nearer future, yeah, I agree with everything that was told. In more than that, couple hundred years, well, I hope.
Yeah, so, okay, now let's jump to those questions that we got from the public. So some of them were answered during our discussion. Some of them are similar, so I'll try to group them. So, but the top question, which received most of upvotes, so is what is the best source to follow AI news? Maybe you can share where you read the news about AI. So.
Reddit.
And you, Arturas?
Well, I read a lot what NVIDIA publishes and other. You just try to read it at the source, I guess. Who are innovating at this frontier.
I can answer too. I was listening now. Yeah, so it's very hard to name a few sources because I personally subscribe to few newsletters.
Yeah.
Of course, there are companies like Meta, NVIDIA, and so on who are also publishing lots of useful material. There are a few scientists like Andrew Ng, Ilya Sutskever, and others who are doing quite a good job. So follow those, and they are sharing all the necessary information, I think.
Yeah. So. Thomas, you mentioned that it's really difficult to hire, for example, AI engineer. You were looking for him for almost half a year. So it was also a question how it is difficult to find AI talent and hire new people. So I believe you sort of answered that by giving this example, but there was additional question, what are essential or must-have roles in AI team? So. not only AI engineer, maybe.
It depends what AI team is responsible for. It depends. For example, in our case at Hostinger, so we are part of the product, and we have like 3 dimensions that we are operating. It's creating new features for product, tracking the market and coming with proof of concept for new products, and trying to automate some stuff with AI in particular. So for us, the AI team stack is like engineers and AI developers. So AI engineers are doing stuff with machine learning and model deployment. AI developers are doing similar stuff, but are focused more on software problems. And also one of position is like AI researcher, who tracks the news, works on proof of concept, and tries to come up with innovative suggestions how we can improve and create additional value for our clients.
Yeah, maybe you would like to add.
I would add with also team needs like coordinator, project manager.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would add. And also, well, I come from an enterprise environment, so data architects and well, roles like that as well. That would communicate with enterprise architects because we are enterprise, etc. So it's sort of to be representable at that level as well. And then yeah, well, team leads, group leads, and well, product project leads. Well, quality assurance. It depends, which parts you are developing and how. Yeah.
Yeah, and considering the rapid pace of AI development in both open and closed source, what is an expected lifespan of AI products which were built today?
It depends.
Anything to add?
It's really a tricky question, like to answer.
Yeah, and so moving next. So, what is your opinion about programmers in upper quotes who only program using BART, Llama, or ChatGPT?
I think it's good because they are using the automation tools that helps them deliver stuff way faster. But there is a trick, like if you are like a junior one and you do not understand what the model gives you and copy paste everything. So I do not know if this is the way to go, but knowing a bit deeper of the programming, the goal you are trying to achieve, so handling all those smaller code pieces using an AI, I guess, is the right thing to do. And before the event, before, someone asked about Copilot. I don't know, never mind. So, and as you saw, almost everyone raised their hands. So everybody are using similar tools. And for me, not to use it, it would be like, I don't know, Stone Age, For us, for example, in Hostinger, we have the GitHub license, and everyone is encouraged to use the Copilot, all the automation tools. We have workshops how to improve the code, how to use the tools in a proper way to achieve max productivity. So use these tools, and yeah, they will improve your productivity a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a time for 2 additional questions. So, yeah, what is harder, to build AI product or to sell it?
If a product is good, it sells itself. Well, again, it depends, obviously, but that's the first answer. If it's really, really new, nobody really knows about that, and you have technical people on your side that thinks that's a good product, you will have hard time selling that one. So it's sort of, if it was not born from a real problem with the headache that I mentioned before, it's going to be terrible to sell, in my opinion. But.
And what's your opinion, Artūras?
I think given current craze, it's quite easy to sell AI product. But of course, it depends, what it does, how much you invested in it. Is it just a wrapper for something else? So.
2 ifs, and you can sell it, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, so as I mentioned before, building a product is quite easy nowadays. So I will keep that selling is a bit harder.
So in your team, you need as well a sales manager.
We have quite a good marketing team, so.
Yeah. Okay, so and last question. So imagine you have unlimited resources of money and as well of unlimited resources of talents. For example, you finally found AI engineer. What AI project you would develop, for example, or maybe you are doing now secretly in your basement, Artūras. So that's all from you. Maybe some kind of assistant who...
Yeah, I think I would work on some biotechnology questions on, I don't know, treating cancer and, treating other illnesses. Yeah.
That is really honorable. So.
Yeah, I guess I had the same answer, put it to medicine, basically.
Yeah, same here. Medicine, biotechnology is like very interesting fields.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear that as a person who came from medical field into data world. So a part of me still lives with healthcare, so I'm really pleased with that. So. And I guess that's it. So thank you, Laimonas, Tomas, Artūras. That was really interesting. I hope you had as well some good insights from experts of AI. This discussion wraps up our Kaunas AI Meetup, which was hosted for the second time by Centric IT Solutions. I hope you had a good evening, and we'll see you sometime in next month. Yeah. So thank you all, and see you sometime.